As Stoney people, caribou is part of us. In our language, we say Tatoga Tinda, Caribou Valley. Today we call it Jasper Park. And also the river is Tatoga Bopta, meaning Caribou River. So this land belongs to the caribou. That's our belief.
Caribou used to exist in a lot of areas that they aren't seen anymore. Some of the valley bottoms in and around the town site have records of caribou. We also know that there are records showing qualitative language like large bands of caribou or thick with caribou. So while we don't have really precise numbers on what that historical population looked like, we know it was much bigger than today. We also had a different idea of what a national park should look like in the early 1900s. Back then, park managers kept predator numbers low, leading to high elk numbers. When predator control in the park suddenly ended, wolf numbers grew rapidly. This led to decades of intense predation on caribou. Today, elk and wolf populations have returned to lower, more natural levels, meaning the landscape is healthy enough to support caribou again. But the herds are now too small to recover on their own. The Tonquin herd's survival is precarious, and the Brazeau herd's recovery is impossible without help.
So we spent quite a bit of time, researching how to recover caribou here in Jasper, and we've implemented many actions as well. Well, we've come to the conclusion that conservation breeding is our best option. Essentially, what you do with a conservation breeding program is that you bring wild animals in a captive setting. It's a 65-hectare facility built in the wilderness of Jasper National Park. And the center will have about 32 different pens and will allow us to have up to 120 caribou in captivity at peak operation times. It's never been done at that size or that scale. Our objective is to build that breeding herd up to at least 30 breeding females. And every year you release the yearlings into the wild.
What makes conservation breeding really exciting is that we have one of the tools that has yet to be tried in the toolbox to recover and rebuild some of these herds. At the breeding center, the caribou will be protected and cared for so they can stay healthy and raise calves. And then when those calves are released to join the Tonquin herd at about a year old, they'll help grow that herd from around 50 animals to more than 200, numbers that are closer to what Jasper once had. The goal is for wild herds to become resilient and self-sustaining over time so that one day they won't need our help.
We're also working with Indigenous partners on a lichen collection program to collect lichen in their community so they can provide lichen to the caribou in captivity. And we're really excited to welcome our first caribou next year and eventually to release caribou in the wild and grow those populations there in Jasper.
Well, that's it. There's one more coming.
There's one more coming and we're done for until next year.
We had the first round of caribou come through. Everything went super well.
The animals seemed to be adapting well. When I came up this morning, one of the cows was at the feeder eating the lichen that we provided for them.
I think we've exceeded our expectations, frankly. I will call it a success and looking forward to have baby caribou.
We're bringing them into a protected life. It may not be natural, but it's as natural as it can be. And it is for the greater good of the population.
You can see their hides start to move around a little bit as they start to come back to the world. And then they give a little bit of a blink and it's like they're suddenly there again. It's pretty magical. Yeah, it's pretty special.
It's emotional.
It's emotional when we look at the Indigenous reconciliation that happens here within the park. It gives us a voice and gives us that level of belonging, much like the caribou.
It's really meaningful that we got the Brazeau caribou out, just knowing that there were the 3 left in that herd and that they may not have been alive in another year when we went to look. They're all healthy, and we've got some remote cameras up, so I might have checked it at 3 a.m. last night. For a long time we thought about getting to this day. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing thing to be part of.
There's a great need to recover caribou, not just in Jasper, but in Canada in general. We hope it's going to make a difference, and maybe it will pave the way to create a tool that others can use.
What's exciting about this project more than anything is probably just the learning opportunities, and for all of us to kind of just see how things go.
The caribou have a place here. They belong here. And once they flourish, it's going to be good for everyone.